Hello chaps, I've had a very interesting week this week. Let's pan back that way. So what have I been up to? Well, I've made this for one, amongst other things. Well, what is it? Well, I think it's pretty obvious what it might be. It's a piece of paper on some rolls, and you turn the handle and you can move the paper along long strip. So why have I made this up? Well, a local teacher came to me, a young lady, science teacher, and she said she teaches young children. She's only young herself, and she's kind of a chat. She says, I like the way you sort of present things. Well, I said, well, I don't know any other way, but thank you. Anyway, I went along and had a chat, and the whole school, I think 90% of them are teachers are women. Nothing wrong with women, but I'm surprised. Anyway, she didn't, to be honest, I hope she's not watching, to be honest, she didn't seem to have much of a grasp of her own subjects. So how she was going to teach these youngsters, I don't know, but things are somewhat different today, I suppose. Anyway, we got chatting, and she said she wanted to involve the children and get them to paint a mural or banner or something on the wall, hence this, depicting the Earth's evolution, how it started and how it all coalesced into the molten ball, and how we got bombarded by meteorites and everything else, and how one of the impacts resulted in a massive explosion that ejected materials and formed our moon, and how water come and how our atmospheres changed because of very primitive life forms that used photosynthesis, and we ended up with an oxygen in the atmosphere, and how other life began, went through the various ice ages. And the kids could paint all these, you see, and have an input, and they would love all that sort of space type things, especially when it came to the dinosaurs and all this. They could all have a go. And the idea that what I've done here is, this is just a mock-up, by the way, just a mock-up. We're talking about something much, much larger. Wallpaper, backing paper, 4 or 5 feet high or so. Anyway, this is nothing more than just broomsticks. Well, you can get the idea. Now, each class could do a section in history and move along. And so, I'm sure you got the idea. Anyway, she says, yeah, I think it's a good idea. She says, we could have a banner going all the way around the assembly hall. She said, that's a good idea. I says, well, it takes a bit of thinking about. I says, and I knocked this up quickly, a couple of hours, and went back with it just to sort of pose the question. Anyway, I got a bit hoisted by my own petard here. For in order to get some sort of scale so they could appreciate the time scales and distances, we had to work out something. And we really wanted it linear, didn't we? So there's a rule or a measure. Too far. That's it. Where's a pencil? That'll do. Pen will do. Each one of those little divisions, each one's a millimetre. So if we said that millimetre there was 1,000 years, and the next one to it was 1,000 years, and the next one's 1,000 years, and 1,000 years, and 1,000 years, then another 1,000 years, and 1,000 years, and another 1,000. You got the idea? Well, if it transpires, doing a bit of maths, then we're going to want a bigger roll of paper. I'm going to want something like 2.82 miles of it. She says, we haven't got a big enough classroom. I says, no, I suppose not. I says, but if you go any different to this sort of scale, so you're not going to be able to put any information into it. I says, you won't impart the enormities and time scale. She said, I suppose we can do this on a computer, she says. I said, the kids won't appreciate, unless it's hands-on, they won't appreciate the fact it's on a computer. They use this all day long, and they don't know, reality from what they're watching on the screens. I said, well, what you could do, I says, because I live in Colchester, and Colchester is the oldest recorded town in Great Britain. And the Romans occupied Colchester at one time, and they built a wall around Colchester, and most of it's still there. I said, if you got all the kids to buy a roll of paper and you joined them all together and you went around the wall, I says, each class could... You got the idea? I says, and then as they walked around Colchester, they could count out the feet and the inches and thousands, millions of years. I said, that would then give them a time scale. I says, and especially when it got to, they probably like dinosaurs, but that's only a little bit about here. And on the very edge of the piece of paper where man evolved, I said, it's so thin, well, you couldn't impart any information there. I said, on this scale, well, it'd be infinitesimal size. Give you a sort of an example, I said. A soap bubble. Blow a soap bubble, and at the top of the soap bubble, where it's thinnest, that's about 10 nanometers thick. I said, that's very thin on that. I said, I mean, if you take the average hair out of your head, that's 20,000 to 40,000 nanometers, which is a lot thinner than human hair. So you're not going to impart much information in that. Oh, she says, we'll do it on a computer then. And it was this point in time that I realised I was, as usual, wasting my time. All the naysayers come out of the woodwork, all the health and safety boys, all the planners, all the... I thought we'll give this up. So this is going to end up for one of the grandchildren, and they can play for hours drawing, and I've got plenty of rolls of this, and that'll keep them amused for hours. But I think this project could have gone on and really been something, but sometimes I feel like giving up. Anyway, as I said, it's been a very interesting week. So what else has happened? If you're a watcher of my channel, you would have seen me a couple of weeks back explain about the flax plant that's in the corner of my garden. Well, these things are ripe now, and look, when I twist them, see how all these seeds come out? They unravel by themselves, but look, millions of them. And the big plant that I've got, well, I brought some seeds back from Wales 20 odd years ago. If you go and have a look at the video I did 3-4 weeks ago at the most, I was talking about these, and they've all matured now, so I've got millions of seeds. If anybody wants any, send me a stamped addressed envelope. But it can only be in this country because I think it's illegal elsewhere. But aren't they super? Anyway, I'm just doing this because this is the time of year, and I'll be propagating some of these in the spring. I'll leave them to thoroughly dry out and tell you how we get on. Anyway, walking across the lawn, you can hear pigeons cooing. Saw an egg. And that's a pigeon's egg. And if you look just there, look, I mean it's dead if it's cold, but look, that's just where he's been trying to come out, peck his way out from the inside, because you can see the way that's risen upwards. Isn't that interesting? Not that I want any more blooming pigeons, of course. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just clear the decks here, give myself a bit of room. Over there somewhere. Today is Monday, and yesterday I went to a boot sale and I bought this lever winch, which is rather nice. It's American made. It's a ratchet lever winch. As I say, it's American, made by CM. Where's that gone? Division, Columbus, McKinnon Corporation. Unwanted, is that how you pronounce it? New York, USA. Anyway, it's an old piece of kit, but it's a really nice quality castings. The capacity is 3/4 of a ton. It says there somewhere. There, 3/4 of a ton. And it's about a 4 foot chain with a hook at each end and hook that end. And then to lower it and raise it, you just simply lift that up and move it over. I thought that's rather nice. I have got block and tackle equipment, but something relatively small like this is handy to go in the car. If I, for instance, say I wanted to move my boat just a bit further along its trailer, there's no winch on the homemade boat trailer, but this would be, could do it by myself with ease. So I thought I'd show you that. I picked it up for £7. So I think I've got a good one there. And then in the afternoon, a buddy turned up and returned some tools he'd borrowed. I'll show you what he gave me. Hang on. He returned this tool. I'd forgotten all about this. This was a little simple straightener, really. He'd bent his pulpit on his boat, or sat on it, and he wanted to straighten it out without taking it off, and this was put on the pulpit. It's a 3-point bender, and by turning the handle, you know, he was able to straighten out the in situ. I forgot all about that. And he said, did I want this? And I thought, well, this is handy, this looks very interesting. So I'm getting a bit closer. It's Clark Instruments. It's a neutral earth loop tester. Somewhat superfluous nowadays, of course. Transformer here and all the gubbins. Can I get in there? Try, can't I? It was probably made in the 60s, I guess. Somebody has cut the lead off, probably to stop you using it. It's not really of much use nowadays, other than interest, of course. It's not much use nowadays because it's only neutral earth loop impedance. And this today, of course, because we put current through that, by the way it operates, would trigger most RCD trips, so it's not something that would be used today. And anyway, this one, and I'm judging at the date, if you look in there down behind that piece of circuit, there's a selenium rectifier. Well, that makes it pretty ancient, and I don't think I'd bother to plug that in. It'd be of relatively little use today. But I love anything like this because this is all engraved, you know, pucker engraved, not stuck on labels, and it's just beautifully made, isn't it? I love anything like this, you know. I wouldn't mind having well, if I had lots of money, I'd set up a museum of anything and everything. You're going to laugh at me now. My missus threw out this. It's an ice cream scoop. And she's sorting out stuff in her drawer. She says she must have had it 50 years. And it's a little rack and pinion, look. You see how it works. That works the little blade to take the scoop of ice cream out. I mean, it's all corroded and gone. If that is the right handle, I doubt it. But I mean, I don't. I dare say there's something of similar quality, similar principle today. But I just find these sort of things interesting. I know what you think, and I'm completely balmy. Anyway, that'll do it for this week. More rubbish next time.